Hey everyone, how are you all doing today? So today I want to go over something that has a lot of backing by George Lucas himself on why Luke failed in the Dagobah cave. Now, when training on Dagobah with Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back, Luke encounters his greatest test yet in his Jedi training, the Dark Side Cave. While learning about the Dark Side and Vader's power, Luke feels a disturbance in the Force and grabs his weapons to go check it out, despite Yoda telling him that he doesn't need them. Once inside, he fights Vader, kills him, and then only sees that he's fighting himself. But what would have happened if Luke had listened to Yoda and not taken his weapons? How would the situation have been different, and how would it have affected his training? There's a lot of theories about what could have occurred, but luckily George Lucas himself gave the answer in the Blu-ray commentary. The first thing to know is that his vision was not produced by the cave, but was in fact produced by Yoda, much like Sidious produces Vader's Force vision in Shards of the Past. According to director Irvin Kershner, Yoda is setting everything up in the cave and knows exactly what's going to happen. Luke is going in to face himself and his fears, but he's still a weak man, which is why he takes his blasters and sabers. So what does Yoda want Luke to learn? George explains this by saying, part of the going into the tree is learning about the Force, learning about the fact that the Force is within you, and at the same time, you create your own bad vibes. So if you think badly about things, or you act badly, or you bring fear into a situation, you're going to have to defend yourself, or you're going to have to suffer the consequences of that. In this particular case, he takes his sword in with him, which means he's going to have combat. If he didn't, he wouldn't. He is creating the situation in his mind because on a larger level, what caused Vader to become Darth Vader is the same thing that makes Luke bring that sword in with him. And so just as later on we find out that Darth Vader is actually his father, so he is part of himself, but he has a capacity to become Darth Vader, simply by using the hate and the fear and using weapons as opposed to using compassion, caring, and kindness. But that's the big danger of the series, is that he will become Darth Vader. Then Kershner goes on to say, when he sees himself, he is facing himself. Luke is his own enemy. So in other words, if Luke hadn't gone looking for a fight, he wouldn't have needed to fight, but he also wouldn't have learned his powerful lesson. Yoda wanted to teach Luke from his failure because, as Yoda told Luke many years later in The Last Jedi, the greatest teacher failure is. Yoda knew Luke's potential and wanted to be sure that Luke didn't follow in Anakin's footsteps. Luke takes his weapons, he's aggressive, he's making the same mistakes Anakin did 25 years before, and could end up the same way. It's even Luke who activates his lightsaber first in the cave, not Vader, just as will happen later in Cloud City. So while Luke doesn't fully learn from his lesson here, I think he realizes it when he's dangling below Cloud City after learning that Vader is his father. He realizes finally that if he fights, he'll lose, knowing that if he follows his father, that he'll become him, which is why he jumps. Unfortunately, he realizes this a little too late and almost dies because of it. I mean, just imagine that. What if Luke actually died from that fall? This lesson is something that applies to all of us in life, and how what we project on things can lead us to become people that we don't want to be, or it can help us to become better. So I love the message that George is conveying with the cave scene there. So do you think Yoda was actually trying to make Luke feel and see those things, or was that something that the Dark Side Cave produced within Luke's mind himself, affecting him with whatever he took in there? Let me know what you think about this, and I will see you all in the next episode. Hit like if you enjoyed this one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Now, fulfill